ladies and gentlemen, to Electra's channel, building North America's first battery materials park, forefronting the electrified future. We're always having the pleasure to be joined by Chief Executive Officer Trent Mell. Welcome back, sir.
Good morning, Kyle. Good to see you.
Yeah, you as well. So we've got some news to dive down into, and then I want to kind of framework where we came from the beginning of the year to what we can kind of expect out of the second half. But first and foremost, in the development of the second battery materials refinery in North America, you appointed a 30-year industry veteran to lead this study. Can you kind of expand on what that means for Electra?
Yeah, so with the advent, I guess, the onshoring trend continuing, we're focused on that middle of the supply chain, the chemical piece. So you got mining on this side, you've got EV and battery production on the other, and then that piece in the middle is where we sit. We sit at the refining end, then you've got to make the precursor material and then a cathode material. So think of it as 3 steps before you stuff it in the battery. And so we already know that the refinery we're building and commissioning being next year is not going to produce enough even for one of the big 3 by 2025, by 2026 for sure. And so we've got the advent of a second industrial park in North America. We started on ours in north of Toronto. This one is north of Montreal, an area called Bécancour. You've got BASF is already building a cathode plant there. POSCO and GM are doing the same. Vale is looking at nickel. So there's a big club of very large players. And look, we're the only cobalt plant to have been built ex-China in 30 years. So why not leverage that and get ready for 2026 onward when the demand is going to be much, much stronger.
Yeah, I appreciate those insights. And just kind of for the newer audience here, from the first 6 months of the year, where did you guys kind of come from? What kind of achievements did we see through the first half of the year?
Yeah, it's been a whirlwind. I mean, let's put aside the market turbulence because we're a long-term play, right? We're working our way into cash flow at a time when EV penetration rates are growing by more than 20% worldwide. So it really is, I mean, all eyes are really on our refinery, right? So the refinery, we have the brownfield site being expanded and being built. And so it's been growing the owner's team. We got 18 or so employees and 50 to 100 contractors on site at any given time. Concrete's been poured, the steel's going up, equipment's being delivered. And so we are very quickly working our way through, probably halfway through construction of North America's one and only, the first, but not the last, battery grade cobalt production facility, phase 1. And on the heels of that, phase 2 for us is battery recycling. So we're going to start processing black mass from shredded batteries, late August, maybe probably into September, realistically, by the time we get everything done. And then we just completed a nickel study. We'll have some news on that. But these integrated parks, there's a lot of synergies to be achieved. So you think of the infrastructure and the people, but even from a process, capital, and operating cost perspective, you can build all of these steps with the precursor plant, huge competitive advantage. And that's what we're working towards both in Ontario and in Quebec.
Yeah, that's incredible. And just kind of moving forward as well, I mean, what's one thing that you say investors should be most focused on? The demand, obviously these refineries kind of coming to completion and just seeing those catalysts come into fruition. What would you say to focus on the most here?
Well, I guess the outside, the left field element that will come into focus is the drilling we're doing in Iron Creek, right? And so yes, we're a refiner, but let's not forget we got a really impressive cobalt asset here in North America, which are about as rare as hen's teeth. So we're drilling that. We're actually not even drilling Iron Creek. We're drilling a mile away from that asset at a target that has some semblance of what we've already drilled. So all I'll say is stay tuned on that. We'll have some news. But in terms of us, in the light of the market meltdown, we're all down, right? Everybody's down 30, 40% in Q2. Just think of it, like look at the long game, right? This EV thing is not going away. We've got 5% penetration in the US. S-curve adoption trends would tell you that's the tipping point, right? Mass adoption is coming. And so don't worry, I guess, with your market outlook. Things will revert back to the mean. We'll be back. So just look at look at our team, look at the business plan. If you have conviction in the EV space and in our place in it, ignore the noise because we're in this for the long haul, and we'll come out the other side here just like everybody else.
Sort of iterating the long-term cost averaged investor, the audience that I hope most people follow. So we take on a little less risk and always look for the long term. But I'm going to pass the question off to the viewers. We'd always love to know what you guys think about all of this in that comment section below. Consider subscribing because as these catalysts come into fruition and it hits the wire, of course, we'll update you here. But on that note, stay cool, stay awesome. And as always, we look forward to catching you in the next one.